Askreddit Asks, men of Reddit, what are some things a mum should know while raising a boy?
If you tease him about personal relationships at a young age, he'll never trust you enough to talk about deep personal matters.
Another is, don't share stuff your kid told you in private with your friends. Especially not during dinner when the kid can potentially hear it. It's a breach of trust that never recovers.
Don't tease your sons about any female friends. It usually leads to issues with them being unable to talk to you about things when they actually do like someone. This is one of the most important pieces of advice out there. My mom thinks every female friend I've ever had is a crush, when that's simply not the case. As such, I can't talk to her about female friends anymore.
If you knock on his door and he says give me a minute, give him a minute. Don't just walk in.
My dad always knocks and he immediately opens the door. If it's early in the morning, he'll just walk in assuming I'm still asleep. I told him it's his house and he can do what he wants. But one day he'll walk in on me dick in hand, and that's his problem, not mine. Also, never enter without knocking and never leave door open. It's pissing me off all the time.
When your teenage son suddenly wants to do his own laundry, let him! Exclamation mark.
Also, you don't have to do his laundry. Win-win situation, right? Really should encourage it regardless. It's an important life skill and he shouldn't learn to expect that his future girlfriend, wife do it for him.
Little dude has two dads. I'm used to washing jizzy sheets.
My dad always knocks and he immediately opens the door. If it's early in the morning, he'll just walk in assuming I'm still asleep. I told him it's his house and he can do what he wants. But one day he'll walk in on me dick in hand, and that's his problem, not mine.
He's respecting your privacy by knocking and asserting his dominance by going in anyway.
Now that's a power move.
It's good to be involved, but don't be overbearing. The most stressed out and repressed guys I knew growing up were always the ones whose mothers controlled every aspect of their lives. Also, have trust and tell him you love him.
This, my mom always knew best. Even as an adult I usually gave in because she never wanted to hear otherwise. And I didn't want to fight. I continued this tendency into my first serious relationship, where my girlfriend was quite dominant. I'm in therapy.
When he's 8 years old, if he accidentally sets fire to the living room rug, go easy on him.
Marty. Such a nice name.
I'm sure this is a reference to something, but my 3-year-old actually did this last week and I banned him from TV until he was 4. Worst 2 days of his life, lol.
So niece, we'll name our third child that. Encourage them to be adventurous, to take smart risks, and how to negotiate. Was raised by a very overprotective mother. I learned none of these things till middle age.
I'm a 34-year-old female and was also raised this way. So unprepared for real life.
My husband broke a bunch of bones as a kid. So he's cautious with our son while I'm encouraging him to take playground risks. He's got to test his limits somehow.
Have a healthy relationship with your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend or whatever. Having a welcoming, stable, warm home is the very basis of being a positive influence on your children. Don't just focus on teaching him the good stuff. Focus as well on being a role model for him. Edit. Whoa, this blew up quite nicely. Thank you for the support and the awards, my very first awards. Exclamation mark. Closing parenthesis dot.
This is the best piece of advice on here. Kids follow examples, not advice. Do as I say.
If you and his father are not together and/or you have negative feelings towards his father, don't tell him all the time how much he reminds you of his father.
If you are arguing and he retreats to his own room or outside, don't follow along continuing the argument. Young people have a hard time expressing themselves and may need time to process their thoughts. Men are too often given the impression that they are only allowed specific responses, and unfortunately one of them is anger. As a teenager I couldn't get away from my parents when we argued and I ended up feeling trapped.
I've suffered a panic attack when my mum flew off the handles the last time. Was kicked out in my underwear in -10 degrees. Got to go back in half an hour later completely frozen and just curled up in a corner and cried. She came up to me, took photos of me and then ridiculed me for not being a man and blamed me for destroying her life. Soon, 1 year, then I'll be gone, forever. Teach him to cook. My post-college roommate had his mum cook all of his meals. It was embarrassing to watch him try to operate a kitchen when he decided he wanted to make something of his own.
Teach him to cook, but only if you yourself do. In fact, know how to cook.
Luckily for you, I'm the cook.
Another is, don't share stuff your kid told you in private with your friends. Especially not during dinner when the kid can potentially hear it. It's a breach of trust that never recovers. This is why I don't tell my mom shit. She tells the whole family. Aunts, uncles, grandparents. Everyone knows within like 2 days. So now I just don't tell her anything I wouldn't want everyone else to know.
I only told my mum about a crush once. When I was 8, I told her and a few days later, all 7 uncles and 10 cousins of mine were teasing me about her. I swear to God, I was so close to losing my shit.
Actually knock and wait. They might not be masturbating but they still like their privacy. Otherwise they lock their door so you can't get in. They close themselves into a mental cage because you thought it was a great idea to just barge into little Timmy's room when he specifically stated that he doesn't like it when you do that.
My parents got mad at me if my door was ever closed. I really liked being alone. It was horrible.
Hello, I'm respecting your privacy by knocking but asserting my authority as your father by coming in anyway.
Keep your promises, especially the small ones that are easy to let slip. And when you break or slip up on one, directly acknowledge it with them and apologize while trying to make amends. Even, especially, really, if they don't remember, raising a child that keeps their word is 100% modeling. Not lecture, you have to show them how to build those skills by demonstrating them daily. While reinforcing that with direct explanation of what you're doing or thinking in relevant contexts. Simply put, don't hold them or yourself to a standard of perfection or pure honesty. Expect accountability and integrity, even in failure or mistakes. It's just as important how we handle when we fail through our own mistakes as trying to avoid making them. Edit. To those who have shared their experiences, good or bad, thank you. You all deserve to have promises made to you kept. Be good to yourselves. Keep being amazing. This part is easy, and know you've made someone's day better. 3.
Now that's a power move.
Walk into your dad's room with dick in hand to get ahead of the problem. Key is to maintain eye contact.
It's called the pro gamer move.
If you do this, you're the dad now. It's the law.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day you wonderful people.